us today to talk about the great things happening in the Third Ward. And I want you guys to come back for segment 3. Thank you. And welcome back to the Dowell Report. I'm Pat Dowell, Alderman of the Third Ward, and I want to welcome you back to a segment that's dealing with new restaurants opening up in the Third Ward. And on October 17th, we had a new restaurant open at 43rd and Prairie called Fleur de Lis Chicago. And with me today are the owners of the new restaurant, Alan Rochelle and Anthony Beckham, and I want to welcome you to the Dowell Report.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
First, tell people, what does La Fleur de Lis mean?
Well, in literal translation, it means the flower of lily. But if you would ask a French person, they'll say lily flower.
All right, and tell us how you came up with that name and what the concept behind this restaurant is.
Well, me being from New Orleans, a New Orleans native, if you follow the Saints at all, their emblem on the helmet is this lily flower. It's a symbol in New Orleans, in Chicago, or in Louisiana in general, that means a person who has a strong religious background, believes in God, and is from the community and wants to help out. So that symbol represents that. So it was an easy name choice to call it La Fleur de Lis Chicago.
And how did you get to Chicago?
That long journey began about in 2005. I went to school in New Orleans at Xavier, and when Katrina hit, unfortunately, I came up to Notre Dame. Having an aunt from the area, I visited frequently, and I fell in love with the city. So my first opportunity after graduating, I came back to Chicago, and from there it was an easy process.
And Anthony, are you from Louisiana as well?
No, I'm actually from Chicago, South Side, born and raised. My grandmother owned a daycare center on 69th and Aberdeen for 25 years. So I call myself a beacon of the South Side of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I went to school and graduated also, and went to college at Columbia University downtown.
Okay, so from what I'm listening, your paths didn't exactly cross like in childhood or in college. So how did you guys hook up?
Well, I worked at Bubblegum Shrimp Company when first coming to Chicago, and that's where I met this young man. He actually was my trainer at this establishment. So we worked together from there, and the business relationship just ensued from there. Really smart, bright individual, always knew his stuff. And when I had the opportunity to go into the restaurant business, I knew I wanted to get him on board.
Well, where'd the idea for the restaurant come from? I mean, this is just something you guys discussed from time to time, and then all of a sudden you decided to go into partnership?
Well, the idea comes from my late father, who passed away in 2009. He came to visit, and we always had a dream. We have praline candies called Creole Sensations. He came up to Chicago in 2008, and we tried to get that business off the ground. Making the candy, sold about 40 orders over the Christmas holidays. Moving forward, we had a couple contracts lined up in a year. Unfortunately, he took sick. But one thing we remember, just being hungry, trying to eat, we had a couple of suggestions for some soul food restaurants, and we had the craving, and we thought there was a need in the area for this type of food.
Okay, so tell us about the restaurant. What can we expect?
Well, you can expect to eat some great food straight from Louisiana. I'm from there, so it's authentic. We're gonna give you gumbo, po' boys, etouffee, jambalaya, just to name a few. We're also gonna have desserts. We're gonna make it tableside. We're gonna have banana Fosters, where we flambe it and light it up at the table for you, give you a nice environment at the restaurant. You can get bread pudding, sweet potato pie. And as you look through the restaurant right here, you can see what we've put into as far as the work. We changed it up. We gave it a lot of Creole accents, Creole colors. I don't know that young man sitting over there, but he looks like he's waiting on a good bowl of gumbo. But we've changed it up. Those tables are homemade. We made those ourselves. And we just put a lot of energy and a lot of thought into the restaurant.
Well, this looks good. It looks fresh and bright. Tell us a little bit about the your introduction to the neighborhood and how you selected that area.
Well,
Anthony?
obviously, as you know, Bronzeville is an area that's known for culture, music, people, creative individuals. And so when the idea came up with the restaurant, this was an area that we went to directly. We didn't look in any other areas. We knew that that's where the restaurant we wanted to be at. And then also, you know, we wanted to bring a business back to not a low income area, but an area that's changing and it has diversity. And so that's why we chose your area.
Well, I'm very excited to have you guys there. I understand that you're also going to be going to be serving alcohol there, so people can get alcohol with a meal.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that you've done a lot of work on the outside of the building.
The outside is not completely done. We'll have murals that's coming. And with that mural, we'll have pictures of Dizzy Gillespie, Louis Armstrong, Ellis Fitzgerald, B.B. King. I mean, so, you know, it's endless numbers of people, musicians, that'll be on the mural outside. And then inside, we'll have murals as well, some different pictures from New Orleans. And we want to keep this authentic, so we're bringing the New Orleans culture to Chicago. So that means Southern hospitality, service. When guests walk out, we want them to go out and talk to people and tell people how they had a wonderful time. And then when they come in, we want them to feel at home.
Tell us about the number of jobs that you're bringing into the community.
From a job standpoint, we're bringing in probably about 25 people that we're bringing in from the area, some outside the area as well. We're providing them with income and jobs, that these people are hungry to get back to work. And this is something that, from a dream standpoint, that I know that Alan and myself as partners, we really want to accomplish. We really want to see people get back to work, because these are hard times out here. But if we can do a little, that'll mean a lot to them.
Well, one thing I've appreciated is how you've come into the neighborhood. You've come in, you've rolled up your sleeve, you've been involved. Tell us about some of the things that you've been doing.
Well, a couple of things. Well, just again, our motto is from Bourbon Street to Bronzeville. So the main thing we want to do is bring that culture from Louisiana to Chicago. And to start that off, we rolled up our sleeves, we got in the community, we opened our doors to area individuals who were looking for work. If it was just some in and out job, whatever it may have been. And we got them in there, and we got them accustomed to how we do business. And it was like a breath of fresh air for them to actually see somebody actually giving them a chance again in the community to work. And what we've done is we transformed the area from somewhere where people were normally hanging out, we had problems on the corners, to now people actually respect the establishments that are there. And they want to actually see it flourish because they feel like they've had a part in it. They've actually done something inside. I've painted this table, I've done something to the wall, and it actually makes me feel like I'm a part of that community in this establishment. So it being successful is a reflection on myself.
I saw that when you guys were doing your painting. I noticed there were some residents that were assisting that I knew, so that was a good thing. And I know that you've been in the African Festival of the Arts this summer. You had a booth there, right? Tell us about that experience.
I could tell you the African Festival was a very successful event. We reached out and passed out about 7,000 flyers. We gained an email list of over 500 people from that event. And we were able to pass out some authentic food. And what we got as far as the feedback was phenomenal. Number one selling dish there for us was our Creole butter shrimp dish. You can come get it at the restaurant.
Okay.
It's a really delicious treat.
Sounds rich.
It is, you know. The thing about Creole food, as you may know, is spicy.
Okay.
And we don't want to have everything spicy for everybody. Sometimes you need something smooth to go on the palate that's you know, a little friendly. So that dish is nice, soft. It's not going to kick your spice buds. Okay. So we definitely want to transition. And so we have the jambalaya out there, the po' boys, and we also had the beignets. So we had a little bit of everything. So
now I heard that you are bringing in recipes that are really from your family. So when you talk about authenticity, I mean, you know what you're talking about. You
Absolutely.
saw this being cooked in the kitchen, right?
From a little boy growing up, you know, I can tell you that this gumbo is something that everybody crowds around for. My mother is not allowed to make one pot of gumbo anytime she makes it. She has to make 3 pots because she needs to freeze some for somebody who is out of town like myself so she can send me some. Everybody comes over and eats, and everybody takes their little bit home. So it's something that's very famous in the area. We've been doing a lot of different events there where we just always have been the people known to cook.
Very good. Anthony, what would you tell someone watching the show today who, you know, has a passion or burning to do something in an entrepreneurial spirit, what would you tell them is necessary?
I tell anybody I come in contact with, to be an entrepreneur, you got to be dedicated. That's a lot of hours. It's a lot of hard work. Between me and Alan, we're both still working, regular jobs. We're both putting in over 80 hours a week. But if you have that hunger to be successful in anything you want to do in life, you can do it. And that's one of the things that we're teaching to young kids in the area, that even though you might have had a hardship, your first time around, we're going to give you a second chance, but we're going to show you how to work. And I think that's something that's missing right now with our youth, is they don't have the mentors out there showing them how to roll their sleeve up and how to work. And I think that they take well to the conversation that we're giving them just about daily life, things that's going on within their lives. So we're adding all that together with food, with the environment, and we're trying to bring a great restaurant to your area.
And do you guys have mentors?
I do. I have a mentor that I got to give a shout out. He's an attorney Richard Boykin, somebody that's seen something in me from a political standpoint, and took me from one event to doing a huge campaign for elected officials. And so I always tie that back into anything that I do, because I can call on those people and say, come on out to this grand opening, and they still remember me to this day.
Very good.
Yeah, and then personally for me, it would be my mother and my father. One thing I can tell you about those two individuals, I learned a lot from them. I learned two different styles of cooking, because they both cook differently. But the main thing I remember from them, they taught me, if you want something you never had before, you have to do something you never done before. And they never shut down any of my dreams that I've always had. And that was one of the last things passed on to me by my father was, I look back on my life and there's a lot of things I wish I would have done.
Right.
But I got caught up a lot of times. So he really was behind me, pushing me forward to my dreams, to live them. And I would tell any young person in the community the same thing, that it's gonna be hard work. It's not gonna be the easiest thing you do. But if you actually put work into it, you will see that everything will open up for you.
Well, tell our audience again where the restaurant is located, give out your address, your phone number, and how people can contact you.
Okay. Well, we will be located at 301 East 43rd Street. That's on the corner of 43rd and Prairie. You can reach us at 773-268-8770. You can also visit our website at www.lafleurdelischicago.com.
Give them a little Louisiana conversation.
Well, if you come in a restaurant, you might hear sometime talking a little Creole. I know you guys are looking forward to that. We may say something like laissez le bon temps rouler, which means we want to let the good times roll. We want to keep having fun. So just make sure you come out and you be ready to loosen up. We don't want you to be uptight. We want you to come in there and have fun. Eat some good food, have a couple of good drinks, some hurricanes, some daiquiris, whatever it may be, but just come in and have fun.
Okay, good to have you both.
Thank you as well.
Anthony, I think you're a little quiet one on I don't know. You got to smile. I got a smile out of you.
I'm far from shy.
Okay.
But we just want to be humble individuals, because we know that coming in your area, this is a business that's probably it's going to be a business that's going to be successful. We know that already, but we want to be humble about our endeavors and what we want to accomplish.
Well, welcome to the 3rd Ward, Fleur de Lis Chicago. I want to welcome you all today for checking out the Dowell report for the first time. And y'all come back now here. Thank you.